When life tries to break you, it never arrives with a warning. It comes quietly, like a shadow behind your confidence, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And when it hits hard, right in the center of who you believe you are. But listen carefully. This is the moment Machiavelli would call your true examination. Because strength isn't forged when things go right. Strength is born when the world applies pressure, when people doubt you, when circumstances push you to your knees and whisper that you're finished. In that exact moment, you must do the opposite of what weakness tells you. You do not collapse. You do not negotiate with fear. You don't beg for mercy. You pull yourself inward into that cold, quiet space where your real power lives. You slow your breathing. You harden your mind. You remind yourself that most people break here, which is exactly why you won't. This is where you rise differently. This is where you detach from emotions that try to control you. This is where you command yourself with the authority of a ruler. Say to yourself, I bend for no one. Comment this phrase right now if you understand the power behind it. Because every time life tries to break you, it's giving you a choice. Remain the victim or become the threat. And you, if you are here listening, were born to become the latter. So stand up in your mind before you ever stand up in your body. Reclaim your internal throne. This world respects only one thing: a person who cannot be bent, cannot be manipulated, cannot be dominated. From today forward, that person is you. Comment again, I bend for no one. Number 2, the shift of power. When life applies pressure, most people respond with panic, emotion, and desperation. But you are not most people. Machiavelli teaches that true power comes from controlling the battlefield inside your own mind before trying to control anything outside it. When the world shakes you, your first move is not reaction, it is observation. You study the chaos like a strategist. You separate noise from truth, emotion from logic, fear from reality. Weak minds rush, strong minds calculate. And you, right now, must decide which category you belong to. When someone tries to disrespect you, when circumstances turn against you, when people betray you or walk away, don't chase, don't crumble, don't defend, pause, step back, let the dust settle, because in that stillness, your power begins. The moment you stop reacting emotionally is the exact moment you become dangerous. Machiavelli would say the man who controls himself becomes untouchable because no enemy can break what he cannot access. And that must become your standard. Every hardship you face is secretly a negotiation between your old self and your new one. Your old self wants comfort. Your new self wants dominance. Your old self wants sympathy. Your new self wants mastery. Your old self breaks. Your new self sharpens. Right now, choose the new one. Choose the one who doesn't fold under pressure, the one who doesn't explain himself, the one who doesn't crumble when life gets heavy. Choose the version of you who looks adversity in the eye and says, I walk through fire without permission. Because once you master this single truth, that you control your response, not your suffering, you take back every ounce of power life tried to steal from you. Hold this line, protect this mindset, guard this inner kingdom like a fortress. And in the last line of this section, I want you to comment, my mind obeys me only. Number 3, the internal revolt. When life corners you, it's not your circumstances that decide your fate. It's the rebellion you ignite inside your own mind. The average person folds because they've never trained themselves to think beyond emotional noise. They let fear dictate their decisions, let discomfort shape their actions, let pain write their story. But you are not here to be average. You are here to create a mental revolt so powerful that the world has no choice but to respond to the force of who you become. Machiavelli teaches that the strongest rulers are the ones who appear calm on the surface while waging silent wars inside, reorganizing their thoughts with absolute discipline. That must be you now. When your confidence shakes, you stabilize it by confronting the chaos with a strategist's focus. When doubt tries to creep in, you choke it with logic. When fear whispers lies, you answer with cold, calculated truth. You remind yourself, pain is temporary, but the power it builds is permanent. Most people refuse to suffer, which is why they never grow. But you learn to sit with the discomfort, to crush it, to use it. You take every setback as a weapon, every betrayal as insight, every failure as a sharpened blade. This is where inner power is born, not from comfort, but from confrontation. You train yourself to thrive in pressure until pressure becomes your natural environment. You learn to detach, not from life, but from the weakness that once controlled you. You learn to speak to yourself like a ruler, with authority and precision. Stand up, hold your ground, command your mind. Because if you cannot command yourself, you cannot command anything. Understand this: life does not break the strong, it only breaks the unfocused, and you will not be unfocused again. Your new rule is simple: your mind follows you, not the other way around. You decide the narrative, you decide the pace, you decide who you become next. And now, to seal this part into your identity, comment: I rise through pressure. Number 4, the art of control. When life tries to overwhelm you, the weak search for escape, but the powerful search for control. Machiavelli understood something most people never learn. The man who masters his reactions becomes the master of every situation he touches. This is the law you must absorb now. Life will throw chaos, betrayal, uncertainty, and pressure at you, but these are not signals to break. These are invitations to rise. When people misunderstand you, you stay composed. When someone tries to provoke you, you stay silent. When the world tries to pull you into emotional warfare, you refuse to participate. Why? Because emotional control is the highest form of dominance. Chaos only wins when you hand it your attention. Conflict only weakens you when you react impulsively. Pressure only suffocates you when you forget who you are. So you reclaim your identity through discipline. You control your tone. You control your thoughts. You control your presence. You control your decisions like a king sitting on a throne, untouched by the noise of the crowd. Machiavelli wrote that the most feared individuals are the ones who never reveal what shakes them. That is the armor you must wear now, calm on the surface, unbreakable within. When they expect anger, give silence. When they expect fear, give composure. When they expect defeat, give strategy. This is how you shift power without saying a single word. Your mind must become a fortress with gates only you decide to open. Your emotions must serve you, never rule you. And when adversity tries to knock you off balance, you respond with a message to yourself: I am the one in control. Because once you take ownership of your inner world, nothing external can dominate you again. This is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming unshakable. It is about building a mind so disciplined that life itself steps carefully around you. Stand tall, breathe slow, think sharp, decide powerfully. And now, to solidify this mindset inside you, comment these words: I control my world. Number 5, the unshakable mind. When life pushes you to the edge, it's not testing your strength, it's testing your structure. And most people collapse because their foundation was built on comfort, approval, validation, and emotional dependence. But your foundation must be built on something far more powerful: the discipline to stand firm when everything inside you wants to break. Machiavelli teaches that the greatest force a person can possess is an unshakable mind. A mind that refuses to be bent by pressure, poisoned by people, or manipulated by circumstance. You build that mind through deliberate hardship. You build it through the discipline of holding still when chaos tries to drag you into reaction. You build it through the choice to remain focused when distractions scream for your attention. You build it through the courage to walk alone when the crowd wants you to conform. Understand this truth deeply. The world respects the one who doesn't flinch. When people see you remain calm in storms, they instinctively sense your power. When they see you respond with strategy instead of emotion, they hesitate before crossing you. When they see you hold your frame under pressure, they realize you cannot be dominated. That is the aura you must forge. The aura of someone who has mastered himself so completely that life cannot twist him, people cannot sway him, and adversity cannot break him. But this mastery does not come from pretending to be strong. It comes from training yourself to be strong. It comes from waking up daily with a mission to sharpen your mind, to command your emotions, to discipline your impulses, to elevate your standards, to embody the version of yourself that fear cannot reach. A strong mind is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not chaotic. A strong mind is quiet, deliberate, and ruthless in its focus. It knows what matters and what does not. It knows what deserves attention and what deserves silence. It knows when to act and when to wait. This is how you begin to operate. Not impulsively, but intentionally. Not emotionally, but strategically. Not softly, but with a quiet dominance that makes the world feel your presence before you even speak. And when life tries again to break you, and it will, you will not panic. You will not crumble. You will not lose yourself. You will stand in the center of the storm with a mind built like iron and whisper to yourself, "I do not fall." This is your transformation. This is your power. This is your rise. Now solidify it. Comment these words. My mind cannot be broken. Number 6, the rise of the unbreakable self. When life tries to break you, it isn't attacking your body. It's targeting your identity. Every hardship, every betrayal, every sudden loss is designed to challenge who you believe you are. Weak people crumble because their identity was borrowed from comfort, borrowed from the opinions of others, borrowed from temporary victories that disappeared the moment life changed its tone. But you are no longer that version of yourself. You are building something deeper, something sharper, something Machiavelli himself would recognize as the blueprint of an unbreakable ruler. A mind disciplined enough to resist collapse, a spirit cold enough to withstand emotional storms, and a presence strong enough to command respect, even in silence. This strength comes from a choice, a ruthless, unforgiving choice, to stop living as the person life expects you to be and start rising as the person life cannot defeat. Pressure exposes your patterns. Pain exposes your weaknesses. Conflict exposes your impulses. But instead of running, you observe. Instead of breaking, you adapt. Instead of reacting, you calculate. This is the shift that transforms a fragile human into a force of psychological dominance. When people attack you, you see their intentions clearly instead of drowning in emotion. When someone betrays you, you detach instead of pleading. When circumstances fail, you adjust your strategy instead of losing control. This is how a ruler thinks. This is how an unbreakable person is forged. Not through fantasy, but through the cold acceptance that life will try to crush you again and again. And your job is not to avoid the impact, but to rise sharper every single time. You understand now that every moment of despair was secretly an invitation to evolve. Every time you felt alone, life was demanding self-reliance. Every time you felt underestimated, life was demanding self-belief. Every time you felt attacked, life was demanding self-command. These are not punishments, they are assignments. Machiavelli wrote that a leader must be willing to face hardship because hardship is the only teacher that reveals true capability. You are in that classroom now. You are learning to silence the fears that once paralyzed you. You are learning to stay calm in situations that once broke you. You are learning that emotional control is not just strength, it is a weapon. And when you wield it correctly, nobody can manipulate you again. But the true transformation happens when you no longer fear the storm, when you walk willingly into pressure because you know it sharpens you, when you stop running from difficult conversations, difficult decisions, difficult realities, and instead confront them with clarity and dominance. You become the kind of person who stands tall even when everything else is collapsing. You become the kind of person who builds structure inside your mind so firm that no external force can weaken it. You become the kind of person who carries pain with composure, who carries responsibility with pride, who carries silence with confidence. Because silence, when backed by strength, is louder than rage. Understand this clearly. Life is not testing your limits. It is demanding that you expand them. Every challenge is a negotiation between who you were and who you must become. And you choose power every time. You choose discipline over comfort. You choose self-respect over approval. You choose strategy over emotion. You choose evolution over excuses. And as this new identity forms, something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing adversity because you recognize it as the training ground of the unstoppable. You are no longer here to survive life. You are here to dominate it. You are here to build a version of yourself that doesn't flinch when things fall apart, that doesn't collapse at the first sign of pressure, that doesn't break when life strikes hard. You are here to become the person who grows stronger from every blow, who remains solid through every storm, who stands unbent, unshaken, untouched by the chaos around you. That is your path now. That is your fate. That is your rise. And to seal this transformation with intention, comment these words: I rise beyond breaking. Number 7. The moment you become untouchable. There comes a point in every powerful person's life where the world tries one final time to crush them, one final attempt to bend their spirit, break their certainty, or shatter the identity they've built. This moment isn't random, it's strategic. Life tests you the hardest right before you transform into someone it can no longer control. And that is exactly where you stand now, on the edge of becoming untouchable. Machiavelli understood that the strongest individuals are not the loudest, not the most emotional, not the ones who seek sympathy or validation. They are the ones who remain silent, calculated, self-contained, and unshakably disciplined. The ones who build themselves so deliberately that no attack can pierce them, no insult can destabilize them, no loss can erase them. You are forging that version of yourself in real time. And to complete that transformation, you must understand the laws of becoming untouchable. You become untouchable the moment you stop allowing people to influence your internal state. When someone tries to provoke you and your mind remains still, that is power. When someone tries to pull you into drama and you refuse to engage, that is dominance. When someone withdraws, betrays, or disappoints you, and you don't collapse, don't chase, don't beg, that is strength. Most people derive their emotional stability from the behavior of others, which means anyone can control them. But you are building your stability from your own discipline, your own certainty, your own internal throne. This is how rulers think. This is how powerful minds operate. They never give others the ability to shift their emotional weather. They never hand over their peace, their self-worth, or their direction. They stay sovereign. They stay centered. They stay in command. You also become untouchable when you stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Weak people defend themselves endlessly, begging to be seen, begging to be accepted, begging to be approved. But Machiavellian strength requires you to understand that silence is more powerful than justification. You let your actions speak. You let your growth speak. You let your results speak. And when people try to question you, doubt you, or criticize you, you respond with the composure of someone who does not consider them worthy of a reaction, because they aren't. Your energy is not cheap, and your attention is not free. You give it selectively, strategically, and only to things that elevate your evolution. Another law of becoming untouchable: you must detach from outcomes, not because you don't care, but because you refuse to be emotionally enslaved by anything outside your control. Most people suffer because they cling too tightly to results, to timelines, to expectations. When things go differently, they break. But the powerful don't break. They adapt, they pivot, they adjust their strategies with precision and momentum. They understand that outcomes are influenced by discipline, but never guaranteed by desire, and so they remain flexible in the outer world while remaining unmovable in the inner one. That combination makes you unstoppable. You also become untouchable by mastering patience. Untrained minds rush, they panic, they make desperate decisions, but strong minds wait, they observe, they strike at the right moment. Machiavelli taught that timing is a weapon, and only disciplined individuals wield it well. You learn to sit with your emotions instead of reacting instantly. You learn to preserve your energy instead of wasting it on pointless battles. You learn to endure silence, slow progress, and uncertainty without losing your inner equilibrium. This patience becomes your armor, protecting you from impulsive mistakes and putting you 10 steps ahead of anyone who tries to challenge you. And finally, you become untouchable the moment you decide that no circumstance, no person, no rejection, no failure has the authority to define who you are becoming. You choose your identity consciously. You build it through relentless discipline. You reinforce it through your daily actions. You protect it by refusing to collapse under emotional pressure. And you elevate it by walking through life with the understanding that adversity is not your enemy. It is the training ground that shapes you into a force the world cannot shake. This is the moment you rise above the version of yourself that was easily hurt, easily manipulated, easily destabilized. This is the moment you evolve into someone the world must respect. This is the moment you become untouchable. And to lock this shift into your identity, comment these words: I am untouchable from within. Number 8. The mind that walks above the world. There is a level of inner power so rare, so refined, so ruthlessly disciplined that the world no longer has the ability to touch you. Not your emotions, not your focus, not your identity. Most people will never reach this level because it requires a kind of self-mastery that feels almost inhuman at first. But if you want to rise into a version of yourself that life cannot break, cannot bend, cannot manipulate, then this is the level you must aim for. Machiavelli understood that the strongest individual is not the one who wins every battle, but the one who cannot be destabilized by losses, the one who walks through pressure so calmly that even hardship hesitates before approaching him. That is the mind you are about to forge, the mind that walks above the world instead of being dragged beneath it. To reach this state, you must first abandon the illusion that you need certainty to move forward. Weak people wait for perfect conditions, perfect timing, perfect confidence. But the powerful move through uncertainty with a steady spine. They don't crave guarantees. They create outcomes through strategic persistence. You must teach your mind to stop fearing the unknown and start seeing it as your arena. Every unpredictable moment becomes a space where you sharpen your instincts, study reactions, and deepen your command over yourself. This is how rulers rise, from chaos, not comfort. Next, you must detach from the emotional noise of others. People will project their insecurities, fears, expectations, and judgments onto you. They will try to guilt you, shame you, provoke you, or control you. But none of it can touch you if you refuse to absorb it. Your mind must become a mirror, reflecting everything, absorbing nothing. You learn to see people's intentions clearly, without taking their words personally. You understand that most attacks are not about you, they are about their own weakness, screaming for attention. And once you see that truth, their words lose power, their actions lose influence, their opinions lose value. You rise above their noise with silent dominance. Then comes the discipline of emotional sovereignty. You must stop giving temporary feelings the authority to shape permanent decisions. Weak people let moods dictate their actions. They sabotage themselves due to fear, anger, sadness, or impatience. But the powerful operate from principle, not impulse. You learn to pause before you respond. You learn to breathe before you choose. You learn to think before you strike. This self-control becomes your psychological armor. Because once you master your emotions, no one can make you act against yourself. No one can bait you into losing your composure. No one can pull you out of your strategy. You become untouchable through discipline. You must also train solitude into strength. Most crumble the moment they feel alone, but you will use solitude as a furnace to build your identity. When you are alone, you see your patterns clearly. You confront your weaknesses directly. You remove the noise of the world so you can hear your own voice. Solitude becomes your weapon, the place where you refine your vision, strengthen your decisions, and rebuild yourself without interference. Machiavelli taught that a leader who cannot stand alone can never truly lead. You must become comfortable walking alone without feeling broken, without feeling insecure, without needing validation from anyone. But the highest level of rising above the world comes from mastering your inner narrative. The story you tell yourself is either the cage that traps you or the force that elevates you. Most people talk to themselves like victims, blaming circumstances, doubting their ability, drowning in fear, surrendering before the fight begins. but you will speak to yourself like a ruler. You will reinforce your strength with every thought. You will demand excellence from yourself with every decision. You will remind yourself that pressure sharpens you, that pain fuels you, that adversity trains you. Your mind becomes a weapon, not a weakness. And once your narrative reflects power, everything in your life begins to align with that power. Understand this clearly. Life does not break the unbreakable. It breaks those who never developed inner structure. But you are building a structure so strong, so disciplined, so intentional that life itself will learn to respect you. You will no longer shrink under stress. You will no longer collapse under betrayal. You will no longer panic under uncertainty. You will walk through the world with a calm, cold, unshakable presence that commands attention without asking for it. And to lock this identity into your mind, comment these words: "My mind rises above everything." Number 9. The power no one can take from you. There is a level of power in this world that cannot be stolen, cannot be shaken, and cannot be broken. And it is the power of a person who rebuilds themselves from every collapse. Most people never reach this level because they run from pain, avoid confrontation, and fear the darkness inside themselves. But you are walking directly into that darkness, not as a victim, but as a ruler, claiming territory. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous individual is the one who has nothing left to fear inside himself. Because once a man masters his own internal landscape, his triggers, his impulses, his weaknesses, his desires, no external force can dominate him. That is the power you are shaping now. And to complete this evolution, you must understand the truth. The world cannot break what rebuilds itself stronger every time. Your strength is not measured by how soft your life is. It's measured by how you rise after every attempt to destroy you. To reach this unstealable power, you must first stop viewing challenges as interruptions. They are instructions. Every setback that ever humiliated you was teaching you emotional strategy. Every betrayal that cut you was teaching you psychological clarity. Every failure that echoed through your mind was teaching you resilience far greater than anything comfort could have offered. You weren't being punished, you were being trained. And now you are beginning to see the design. You are beginning to understand that nothing life threw at you was random. It was sculpting the weapon you are becoming. Weak people resent hardship. Strong people use it. And you turn every blow into sharpened steel. Next, you must understand that your emotions are not the enemy. Uncontrolled emotions are. Most people are slaves to their reactions. They move when fear tells them to move, collapse when sadness grips them, lash out when anger provokes them. They are puppets of internal storms they never learned to command. But you are learning to stand still while the storm explodes inside you. You allow yourself to feel without allowing those feelings to rule. You observe, you don't obey. This is what Machiavelli meant when he spoke of rulers who are feared not because they are violent, but because they are unmovable. Your calm becomes intimidating. Your silence becomes powerful. Your discipline becomes a kind of presence that forces the world to take you seriously. Then comes the transformation of self-respect. Understand this clearly. You teach the world how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you let people walk over you, they will trample you. If you tolerate disrespect, they will weaponize it. If you abandon your own boundaries, others will carve your identity for you. But when you raise your standards, the world must rise to meet them or be removed. This is not about arrogance. This is about sovereignty. You are reclaiming your authority over your life, your energy, your direction. You stop chasing people who show indifference. You stop explaining yourself to those who don't listen. You stop keeping connections that drain instead of strengthen you. You build your circle with intention, not desperation. Machiavelli understood that a ruler without boundaries is no ruler at all. And you are no longer living without lines. But true unstealable power comes from something even deeper, the ability to rewrite your identity whenever life demands evolution. The weak cling to who they used to be. They cling to old patterns, old habits, old beliefs, even when those patterns have destroyed them. But you will not cling. You will change. You will upgrade. You will shed versions of yourself the moment they become too small for the strength you are stepping into. This willingness to evolve is what makes you unstoppable. When life pushes you, you don't break, you shift. When life blocks you, you don't quit, you reroute. When life tests you, you don't fold, you rise into someone even sharper. And now you understand the truth. The world cannot break a person who controls his own evolution. You are no longer shaped by circumstances. You are shaped by choice. You are shaped by discipline. You are shaped by the identity you forge with every hardship you conquer. You are not walking toward power. You are becoming it. You are not surviving the world. You are rising above it with a presence that demands respect and a spirit that refuses defeat. And to seal this chapter of your rise, comment these words: "My power cannot be taken." Number 10. The final ascension. There comes a moment in your evolution where everything you have endured, everything you have survived, and everything you have risen from molds itself into a single truth. You are no longer the person life can break. This moment is not loud. It is not dramatic. It arrives quietly, like a shift in the air inside your mind. Suddenly, things that once shook you now barely touch you. Words that used to pierce you now dissolve before reaching you. Losses that once shattered you now sharpen you instead. This is the final ascension, the stage Machiavelli would call the crowning of your inner sovereignty. It is the moment where your discipline, your scars, your resilience, and your cold psychological strength merge into a single, unbendable identity. You no longer react like your past self. You no longer crumble like your old self. You no longer seek the approval, validation, or permission that once chained you. You are stepping into a version of yourself that life cannot bend, people cannot manipulate, and weakness cannot inhabit. You walk differently, you think differently, you choose differently. You know exactly who you are becoming, and you no longer apologize for it. To reach this ascended version of yourself, you must recognize the source of your unbreakability. You built it. None of it was given to you. None of it was inherited. You crafted it through battles no one saw, through nights you kept going when everything told you to stop, through moments where breaking would have been easier, but you didn't. Those private victories are the reason your presence now carries weight. Your silence now carries authority. Your decisions now carry direction. You no longer operate from fear, you operate from clarity. You no longer chase outcomes, you create them. You no longer cling to people, you stand firm in your own gravity. This is self-rule. This is psychological sovereignty. This is the moment where you stop trying to prove your strength and start living in it. The final ascension also requires one last shift. You must stop returning to old versions of yourself out of habit. Stop responding like the wounded version. Stop thinking like the doubtful version. Stop shrinking like the insecure version. You have outgrown those identities. You have outgrown the people who fed them. You have outgrown the environments that depended on your weakness. Now you move with intention. Now you speak with precision. Now you carry the calm, cold aura of someone who has conquered himself first. This inner mastery radiates from you in everything you do. People will sense it without you having to say a word. Life will shift for you because you have shifted within yourself. And now you understand. The world never needed to change for you to rise. You needed to change for the world to follow. This is your ascension. This is your era. This is your throne. Protect it, live it, and never shrink again. And to seal your transformation in the final line, comment these words: "I am unbreakable forever."